Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to talk about everything we know so far about the next book in the Last Hours trilogy, Chain of Iron. Most of you will know that I've also just finished doing my close analysis and chapter by chapter breakdown of Cassandra Clare's Chain of Gold. I mentioned in that video that I wanted to do a separate Chain of Iron video as well to talk about like fan theories, things that I think are going to happen and things that Cassie has already confirmed will happen. I have spent the last 2 days trawling through everything online. I've been through all of Cassie's Tumblr, Twitter and Instagram posts. I've looked and analysed the official Chain of Iron blurb. I've even been on the official Shadowhunter wiki page for Chain of Iron and noted down everything that I found on there. Safe to say, I've definitely done my research for this video. As well as these confirmations from Cassie, I'm also going to talk about some of the things that I personally think might happen, including some of my favourite fan theories to this day. So when I mention something that Cassie has confirmed or that I found online and that I know it is true, I'm going to use this image of the cartoon rat from Horrible Histories. And when I mention something that's like a fan theory or a personal theory, I'm going to use this image instead. For all my British viewers out there, I really hope you appreciate and understand this. I was literally up until 1 AM drunk last night trying to Photoshop this rat online. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is break down the official Chain of Iron blurb. So this information has been officially released, the book is now available to pre-order and it's literally on the back of the book itself. This means that the blurb is like confirmation for what's going to happen, any hints and allusions, so it's like a really good base to start with, I think. Cordelia Carstairs seems to have everything she ever wanted. She's engaged to marry James Herondale, the boy she has loved since childhood. She has a new life in London with her best friend Lucy Herondale and James's charming companions, the Merry Thieves. She's about to be reunited with her beloved father, and she bears the sword Cortana, a legendary hero's blade. But the truth is far grimmer. James and Cordelia's marriage is a lie, arranged to save Cordelia's reputation. James is in love with the mysterious Grace Blackthorne, whose brother Jesse died years ago in a terrible accident. Cortana burns Cordelia's hand when she touches it, while her father has grown bitter and angry, and a serial murderer is targeting the Shadowhunters of London, killing under cover of darkness, then vanishing without trace. Together with the Merry Thieves, Cordelia, James and Lucy must follow the trail of the knife-wielding killer through the city's most dangerous streets. All the while, each is keeping a shocking secret. Lucy, that she plans to raise Jesse from the dead, Cordelia, that she has sworn a dangerous oath of loyalty to a mysterious power, and James, that he is being drawn further each night into the dark web of his grandfather, the archdemon Belial, and that he himself may be the killer they seek. I know, it's a lot. Okay, the first thing I want to start with is what the hell is happening with Cortana and Cordelia. So, Cassie has confirmed here that in Chain of Iron, Cortana will burn Cordelia when she touches it. However, we did kind of also see this coming. In the series of tarot card artworks that Cassie commissioned to have done, in the one of Cordelia, her hand is actually on fire by Cortana. So, what does this mean for Cordelia? We all know that at the end of Chain of Gold, there's that scene with Tatiana Blackthorne chatting to Belial himself, and he's saying that he can't get to James because Cordelia is actually protecting him with Cortana. So, fan theory here, that Belial has actually altered Cortana so that Cordelia can't touch it and therefore cannot actually protect James. This means that he can get to James more, manipulate him, and then he could become the killer that the blurb also talks about, who was wandering the streets of London. Fact, at least 5 Shadowhunters are expected to die by the hands of the killer. There's a good fan theory that the murderer is actually Lucy Herondale, based on the fact that her powers are to do with death. Belial has suggested that he could use Lucy as a host rather than James if James doesn't do what he says. There's also the idea that Lucy could actually strike a bargain with Belial in return that he actually helps resurrect Jesse Blackthorne. I personally think that Jesse will be resurrected in Chain of Iron, or he's going to be resurrected in the last chapter of Chain of Iron and it will end on like a cliffhanger starting for Chain of Thorns. I also think that Grace will start to see Lucy and Jesse's feelings towards each other, and I think it's going to be one of those situations when someone is watching two people fall in love but the two people don't actually see it themselves until it's too late. Fact, Cassie has confirmed that there are going to be more scenes with Lucy and Grace alone in Chain of Iron. Will it be in these scenes that Grace starts to understand Lucy's feelings for her brother? Speaking of Grace Blackthorne, fact, we are going to learn a lot more about Jesse and Grace's childhoods in Chain of Iron, including their relationship with Tatiana, why Tatiana decided to adopt Grace instead of another Cartwright, and more about Grace's powers. Grace's powers, I hear you say? Well, a really good fan theory is that Grace was actually the hooded or cloaked figure that killed Emmanuel Gast in Chain of Gold. The theory goes that she was sent to do this by Tatiana, and why could she do it so well? Because she's pretending to be untrained. She's pretending to be a weak Shadowhunter. encounter. Fan theory number 2. Grace is actually Fae. Fact. Cassie has said that Grace's powers exist separately from the bracelet, which surely means that Grace herself is magical in some way. I was sent this theory by one of my lovely friends, Maggie, who has supported me on this channel, so massive shout out to her. But the theory goes as follows. Basically, Grace is described as being really magical, and we all know that the Nephilim don't actually use magic unless it comes to warlocks, which we know they actually hire to do things for them. Grace's looks, she's very, very pale. She's got super pale blonde hair. She's very similar to Mark and Helen Blackthorne, who are half Fae themselves. She's described as being this really just beautiful person who's so cold and so mysterious, and if that doesn't scream Fae, then I don't really know what does. There's the whole idea that Fae traits passed down through Shadowhunter generations don't show up as much or show up in different ways, so that's the reason why it's not totally obvious that Grace is Fae. This girl is so manipulative, and she just reminds me so much of the Seelie Queen, just in the way she acts and the things that she does. Going back to Cassie's confirmation that we're going to find out just why Tatiana decided to adopt Grace instead of another Cartwright. Could the reason be that she worked out that Grace was actually Fae or part Fae and was like, do you know what, she's going to be great for all my manipulative schemes, I think I'll take her. At the end of Chain of Gold, we find out that Grace Blackthorne is actually going to be moving in to live with Ariadne and the rest of the Bridgestock family, so I'm really intrigued to see how this will play out in terms of Anna and Ariadne's relationship on the side. We all know that Ariadne is planning to try and win Anna Lightwood back, and Cassie has confirmed that in Chain of Iron there is going to be some saucy business. Quote, I would say the most wild sexy business is had by Anna and Ariadne. Speaking of Ariadne, fact, we are going to find out Ariadne's real Indian birth name. This is just like a small side note, but I really am excited for things like this. I feel like they add so much more complexity to a character, and I'm really intrigued to find out more about Ariadne's home culture. Fact, Cassie has described Chain of Iron as a book about secrets and the perils of them, and confirmed that many secrets will be revealed as the last hours continues. Secret number 1, could this be about Thomas and Alistair? Cassie has confirmed that we're going to find out more about Thomas's feelings towards Alistair, and I think that Thomas is going to confess to Alistair about how he really feels. Secret number 1 being revealed. Speaking of Thomas, fact, Thomas does something very dangerous. Fan theory that I also think has basically been confirmed by Cassie is that Thomas rides atop a carriage. Personally, I think the reason why Cassie has already confirmed this is because she released this tarot card of Thomas Lightwood, and let's be real here, riding atop a carriage is a pretty reckless and dangerous thing to do. Another secret that could be revealed is that I think that everyone is going to find out about James and Cordelia's fake marriage. This then leads to secret number 3 of Matthew and Cordelia's relationship intensifying. Fact, Cordelia is going to find out about Matthew's feelings towards her. We all know that Matthew already understands that James and Cordelia's marriage is a fake, but I think when the secret's out in the open, Matthew's going to make a move on her and confess how he really feels. Fact, the love triangle in the Last Hour series is a triangle unlike any other Cassie has ever written before. I think this is going to be an unrequited love triangle between Matthew, James and Cordelia, in which Cordelia is in love with James, Matthew is in love with Cordelia, but Cordelia doesn't feel the same way about Matthew. Fact, Matthew is going to tell Cordelia about what he did in Ghost of the Shadow Market. If you haven't read that short story, I highly recommend you go do it, but what Matthew did in that short story, he's been keeping a secret ever since. So Cassie's basically confirmed here that this secret will be one of the other ones that is revealed in Chain of Iron. One final point about Matthew Fairchild. Fact, Matthew moves out into his own flat, and this is a result of his relationship with alcohol. Charlotte tries to intervene, tries to speak to him, tries to help him, and Matthew moves out as a result. This is 100% confirmed, and this is such chaotic behaviour, I cannot wait to see what goes down in this flat. Cassie has confirmed that Matthew's favourite person, Magnus Bane, will be getting a new love interest in Chain of Iron. Fact, it's going to be another warlock. Fan theory that this warlock is none other than the Hypatia Vex. Hypatia is a pretty cool character, and I'm so excited to see what happens between these two. Speaking of warlocks, fact, Malcolm will play a much bigger part in Chain of Iron. My theory here is that he's finally going to discover the truth about what actually happened to Annabelle Blackthorne. Cassie has confirmed that at the moment he doesn't know the truth about what actually happened to Annabelle Blackthorne, yet. At the end of Chain of Gold, Tatiana gets sent to the Silent City to become one of the Iron Sisters. Currently, in 1903, Malcolm thinks that that's what happened to Annabelle as well, that she is living in the Adamant Citadel and that she herself is an Iron Sister. Fact: a significant thing about Rupert Blackthorne appears in Chain of Iron. If you remember, Rupert Blackthorne was Tatiana's late husband who got eaten by Benedict Lightwood when he was a worm. He's also the father of Jessie. I think that Tatiana is going to try and find out more information about her late husband and that he could be in some way actually related to Annabelle. She then finds out the truth about Annabelle Blackthorne, and this information gets back to Malcolm himself. Never forget that in the Dark Artifices series, it's mentioned that there is an unauthorised permanent portal at the bottom of the London Institute that was put there in 1903. Surely this has to do with Malcolm Fade and Annabelle Blackthorne. I'm just saying. Okay, some random extra points here. Fact: Chain of Iron will be taking place during winter. Cassie has confirmed that this means there will be several Christmas parties, which I think are the best place for illicit affairs to begin. Fact: in Chain of Iron there will be a new engagement and at least one wedding. I think that one of these could be to do with Eugenia Lightwood. Cassie has confirmed that Eugenia is, quote, ruined because she was found alone with a gentleman in her bedroom who later did not propose to her. Cassie has confirmed that we're going to find out why Eugenia has been so-called ruined, and I think this might link nicely into a new engagement or even a marriage for our girl Eugenia Lightwood. At least one wedding. Could one of these be James and Cordelia's? Fact: Chain of Iron begins when James and Cordelia have been engaged for 4 months. Surely this would then lead nicely into the wedding itself. Another fan theory about one of these weddings is that it's actually between Lucy and Jessie. So the theory goes is that Lucy and Jessie are actually binded together when she successfully resurrects him. The Clave then realises that killing one kills the other, so in pure Edwardian style they are forced to get married together and live happily ever after. This fan theory is a bit out there, but as a huge Lucy and Jessie shipper, I am so for it. Elias Carstairs. Fact: Elias appears at the start of Chain of Iron. He causes trouble and he makes a shocking demand of James. Fact: the reason Elias has kept Jem away and the fact that Alistair and Cordelia haven't grown up with their cousin Jem is because he wanted to hide his problematic relationship with alcohol. Could this shocking demand of James be that he stops seeing his Uncle Jem completely? On Cassie's Instagram, she did a short read of an extract from Chain of Iron when Elias actually returns to the Carstairs house, and there's the first interaction between Sona, Alistair and Cordelia, and, quote, Elias rests a hand on Sona's stomach. Fan theory: Sona isn't going to survive Chain of Iron nor her childbirth. Personally, I think the repercussions of this, what's going to happen to the child that she gives birth to, will be explored more in Chain of Thorns, but I think that Sona could meet her fate in Chain of Iron. One of the last confirmations about what's going to happen in Chain of Iron is that we are going to meet a new Shadowhunter girl who is from Italy on her travel year. People have been going mad about this character, but Cassie said that she's not as important as people are making her out to be. Fact: this new Shadowhunter has a crush on someone. This doesn't really do a lot, and if anything, it just makes the love triangles worse. It's just more chaotic energy, and I'm so excited to see what new dynamic this girl brings to the Merry Thieves and the rest of the residents at the London Institute. Hopefully this video has given you a nice little taster for what's going to happen in Chain of Iron. I've tried to mention the majority, if not all, of the confirmed facts that Cassie has said about Chain of Iron. If I have missed anything, please leave a comment below. Please also give me your favourite Chain of Iron theories or what else you think is going to happen in the Last Hours trilogy. I love fan theories. I'm so excited to hear what you guys think. I hope this video has been helpful, and I for one am so excited about the release of Chain of Iron in March. 139 days to go.